Windrose Chifarimba, a marketplace evangelist, business incubation specialist, and a multi-award-winning business coach. Today we're looking at from self-employment to entrepreneurship, because there is a difference. And the entrepreneur in house. Windrose, good morning. How are you?
Morning, Vic. And how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Beautiful.
So, what are the similarities and distinctions between self-employment and entrepreneurship? Because sometimes we mix it up.
Yes, Vic. And self-employment and entrepreneurship, they are similar and often used interchangeably, but there are fundamental distinct difference between these two things. While both involve working for oneself and taking on risk and rewards of business ownership, but there is a big difference between the two, and we want to clarify this so that those that think or assume that I am an entrepreneur when they are self-employed, they know their place, and we take them through the journey that can transition them from self-employment to entrepreneurship. So I want to highlight the critical differences between the two. The self-employed owns a job, and the entrepreneur owns a business.
So there's a difference between owning a job and owning a business. I see.
You know, we were saying that last weekend that an employee has a job. A person who is self-employed owns a job, and does not mean that he owns a business or has a business. You just own a job. You have created a job to pay yourself. So you have become your own boss, but you are not an entrepreneur. Whereas an entrepreneur is a person who sets up and creates a business with systems, because business is run by systems, and people, they run the systems. So that's some of the major difference that we see between a person who is self-employed and an entrepreneur. And another thing that we see is that a person who is self-employed, they cannot divorce themselves from the business. Themselves are the business. E&D business, Rach. They cannot divorce themselves from the business. Whereas an entrepreneur can actually divorce themselves from the business. You know, Weekend, if you cannot go for 90 days away from your business, disappear, go for a holiday vacation, and because your business needs you, it means that you are self-employed. You are not an entrepreneur. You know, most people who are self-employed, paano kosora business agri kosora, paano rwara business agri rwara, paano fa no paano business parino fao. Saka they are intricately attached to their business, and you cannot separate them. But legally, when we look at the concept of a business is a separate legal persona, a separate legal entity that is divorced from its owners and directors, meaning the people who runs the business. On its own, the business has got rights and has got obligations that it can actually own assets and property, sue or be sued on its own. So business chitoriwo chunhu chakatozvimirira chega chinogona kuoperata iwewo usipo, ndoratiri kuti business. Saka ndo musiyano watiri kuongorora pamkati pemunhu ari self-employed ne a person who runs a business. And you realize that most people whom we call entrepreneurs are people who are having everything dependent upon themselves. Vikini zvinhu zvese zvine zviri pamusoro make iye ndiye business racho. Saka kana asipa zvichofambi. Saka we realize that we have got person-based business and we have got system-based business. So once you have got a person-based business that is entirely revolves, centers around your person, you are self-employed. But if you've got a system-based business, the way systems runs the business, you have what is called a business. And we say that the critical difference between being self-employed and becoming an entrepreneur are systems. So it is of paramount importance as a business person to put systems in your business because they help you to scale and to grow. The self-employed, the value of their business is in them. The value of their business is in them. While entrepreneurs, they transfer the value into the business. Okay, what do I mean? Self-employed, the value of the business is in themselves. Vegan ndiye munhu wacho anorapa vanhu, ndiye anobaya majekiseni, ndiye wacho plumber wacho, ndiye wacho hairdresser wacho. Saka value kana asipo, there is no value that is created on that business. Iwewe ndiwe the value, ndiwe uno create a value. Whereas an entrepreneur, the business is the value. They transfer the value. They transfer the system, the knowledge. They create a separate entity that runs without them. So that's the major difference. And one thing that we see about people who are self-employed, they work in the business. Whereas an entrepreneur works on the business. There's a big difference between the two. Working in the business and working on the business. People who work on the business are these people who take a step back. They have this a panoramic view of the entire business. A person who is self-employed, concentrator ne product. They are focused more on the product. Whereas an entrepreneur focuses on the business. The business is their product. So the entire value chain, the business, every component, very important. It function efficiently and effectively. So the entire business is their product. Whereas an entrepreneur, arungo manyisa plumbing yake, arungo manyisa kanari doctor kungo baya vanu majekiseni nekurapa kuti angowana mari. So these are some of the major differences that we see between a person who is self-employed and an entrepreneur.
If you're also listening, you can also hit us up. Are you an entrepreneur? Are you self-employed? Does your business have a life of its own? So maybe if we can bring it closer to home, Windrose, if you can give us, practical examples of people who are self-employed and entrepreneurs in the same industry.
Okay, we can. People who own InDrive, who created that amazing software that is now being used by many drivers who are affiliating with this platform, using it as taxi to transport people from one point to another. These people, they are entrepreneurs. But the person who is affiliating as a driver who owns the car, arugurana InDrive, iye munhu ari self-employed. Because anafana kumukira makuseni, womira akatarisa pafoni pake, kuti munhu aloga in ada kutakurwa papi kana ari padhuze otaura kuti ndasvikapo woita akarwara iye munhu iyeye hapana mari inopinda. Asi uyu akacreate a platform yeInDrive kana yeuber is an entrepreneur. But a person anoona motikari yake itori yako yawakatenga isiri yomwe munhu uri kuidriver munhu iyeye weekend anenge ari self-employed. Tona lese kutoti uri chiremba doctor ari kushanda pa your own surgery or clinic or hospital, ndiwe wacho kuti kana usati wasvika panenge pane zikiu rakareba kudaiso and hapana chinoitika, you are self-employed. But a doctor who owns a hospital or a chain of hospitals and sets systems and employs other doctors to work for him, that one is an entrepreneur. There is a big difference. Saka uyo hairdresser ari arikugadzira vanhu musoro, atorine beauty parlor yake, ari self-employed. But uyo akugona kuemploya vanogona kugadzira musoro, iye akakotsira business richifamba richiranwa, iyeye ndi entrepreneur. Yes.
Saka zvine musiyano. I think manyatsopapatsanura mushe.
Yes.
So apart from building systems, what are the other stepping stones that one needs in order to cross over, from being self-employed to becoming a true entrepreneur?
One of the key stepping stones to transition from self-employment and to come to the space of entrepreneurship is you need to develop a business mindset. You need to develop a business mindset. The journey from self-employment to entrepreneurship is not just a change of title. No, business cards I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a CEO, and so forth. But it's actually a change of mindset. Entrepreneurship is not a particular type of work. but rather it is a way of thinking. Entrepreneurship is not a particular type of work, but rather it is a way of thinking. Successful entrepreneurs are not successful because of the type of the business that they do, but because of the mindset in which they run their business with. So it boils down to the mindset that you are running your business with. I often say that business, they don't fail, but it is the mindset of the person that runs the business that fail. Business weekend are broke, but if funga zemunhu dzinorana business ndo dzinobroka. So kana tida transition from self-employment tichienda entrepreneurship, tofana kuchinja the way how we think. I usually classify people into 4 mindset. We see 4 mindsets in the category of people who would want to start their businesses. The first mindset is a survival mentality. Weekend, there are a lot of people who are starting business with a survival mentality because of this harsh economic environment. There's no employment. So people, they are starting business with a mentality that I want to put food on my table. I want to pay school fees. I want to pay some bills. So this is what is there driving them. So we have got so many hustlers. Tofana kubuda mupfungwa ekungongwavha yekuda kuti ndingotraya kuita kurova pena zvibude. That kind of a mindset is not a mindset of an entrepreneur. In my business class, when I ask a person who is coming for coaching, what is your goal? What I want to make an extra dollars. It's all centered on dollars, on money. It's just wanting to survive. But what happens is that kana waona mari iri enough, kata mabills ako, the passion fizzles out. And the mindset that tinoona a good lifestyle mentality. We are black folks. We come from families where there's serious abject poverty. Tetakarwa nemadada nenamo too bad. So life kari bo. Kakanaka. That's the mindset. I want to improve my lifestyle. So these 2 mindsets are not the mindset that will help somebody to transition from self-employment to entrepreneurship, but the mindset that shifts people to come to become an entrepreneur is the mindset, of saying that I want to build a legacy-driven mindset. Building a business with a legacy-driven mindset. Uchiona vazukuru vevazukuru. To say andina muzukuru lewaida andina muzukuru achazonyorera CV kunomwe mukadzi akafanana neni. Such kind of a mindset, about having a transition from self-employment to negligent, and also having a mindset, a world changer mentality. Entering into the business space with a mindset to change the world to be a better. So we must start business with a higher purpose in mind. A business must not be the end, but must be the means to an end. So mindset is very, very critical. And also number 2, a business weekend is a team sport. The understanding, if ever you want to transition, business is a team sport. Hardly do business succeed based on the talent of 1 or 2 people in the organization, but it requires a diverse skill set. Haisiri yako wega. Aufanele kunge uriwe wega the key player mugame weekend kuti kana usipa iwewe team inorowa. Aufanele kunge uriwe the coach wekuti kana usiwa gara pa bench paipai uriwe coach wacho team inorowa. But have a mindset of being the owner who own the club, where you hire the coach and the players and you create a team. So business is a team sport. So one of the things that we must master is delegation and team building if we ever want to build a business. Because how silly one go a business, but one want to business. People like Anna Henry Ford, they had no formal education. But one thing about Henry Ford, is the mastermind group. I check about one weekend, very, very sharp, over employer. And we know that is one of the greatest industrialists of all time. And there is something very profound. Say Richard Branson. He says that train people well enough that they cannot leave, and treat them well enough that they can stay. Vanhu vazhinji ma-entrepreneur vanenge vachinetsikana weekend kuti kondikadaidza vanhu ndikavatraina vanozonditiza vozoteka business rakafanana nerangu. But say Richard Branson ari kutaura kuti no, and train people well enough so that they can live, and treat them well enough so that they cannot live. So it is imperative. Then maybe the last one for our time, the issue of structure. You need to structure your business. A well-structured business minimizes confusion. It gives a transparent view of where one fits and the roles they are entitled to do. So there is no confusion. Because panning clear communication one zviri say mama business ingori confusion because apana a well defined structure. So an entrepreneur sets a business structure really easy to operate. My responsibilities. And another thing, number 4, we have to learn to invest in ourselves as entrepreneurs. If you want to transition from self-employment to become an entrepreneur, invest in yourself. Chaga knowledge, chaga a lot of things, chaga mentors, people who can mentor you so that you have got all the necessary skills, the knowledge to run a proper business.
Wow, thank you so much, Windrose Chief Fariba, from self-employment to entrepreneurship. For those who want to reach you, your details.
Yes, to those entrepreneurs, last week a lot of entrepreneurs called us as the Entrepreneurs Ignite Hub in how to help them to structure and systematize their business. So you can get in touch on 0772 767693, 0772 767693, and you can follow me across all social media, the Marketplace Evangelist. Thank you so much, Weekend.
Thank you so much, much appreciated. Taking our time to 10 o'clock, Star FM. It's time for the news.